Ooh. Oh, someone's getting out. Two people. Is it exposition? Yeah. Okay, we want to welcome you to our streaming coverage of a pursuit going on right now. I'm Jory Rand in our ABC7 studios. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a stolen Cadillac that is making its way around the Exposition Park area right now. Headlights are off, so it's tough to see once it is on these side streets and you don't have the benefit of those street lamps kind of illuminating the way, but we can see the reflection of some lights here as we are traveling on side streets. This had gone on the 110 freeway, the 105 freeway. This vehicle has stopped at several points, dropping off passengers. We saw a few minutes ago someone get out, and then just moments ago they stopped at the Exposition Park exit, I believe off the 110, and we saw two more people exit the vehicle and just start to run off. So there is at least a driver left in this vehicle, again, driving with its lights off at excessive speeds. And we see the brake lights, the only way we can see this once it gets into some of the dark corridors through this pursuit. And so if we can get our tracker on, I'm not sure if our Air 7 HD is equipped with this tonight, just to give us some location and directional guidance on where this is headed. But this is again a stolen Cadillac SUV and nearly a collision there. Again, when you're driving around town, it's always a good idea, even if you have a green light, just give yourself a look to the left and the right, because we see too many of these pursuits where the drivers just have no regard for the safety of anyone else on the roads or passengers, and we just saw a near collision there. So again, traveling at high rates of speed in a large vehicle, that looked like going through a green light, and we'll see how this continues. But again, a stolen Cadillac that I believe was originated down the 105 Watts area, Wilmington, and has been traveling around the 110 and the 105 freeways, and now on side streets. They had been in Exposition Park. I've got to pull up a map and see if we can find where we are and get a little guidance here. But this is a potentially dangerous pursuit. We nearly saw one collision. There have been several moments throughout this pursuit that we saw some close calls. And let's pull up some of the video we have. This was, I believe, was this the one just now? This is getting off right. Okay, so watch this. As the vehicle comes to a stop, you can see the silhouette of one person exit the vehicle, and then a second, once the light, the gain comes up on the video, one crossing the street. There's another one still struggling and falling down through the bushes. And you see a vehicle, a police vehicle in pursuit, but now, if we look at the live portion of our video on the left side of your screen, I don't know if we can pull out a little bit and see if we still have officers in pursuit or whether they've kind of called this thing off for a little bit and pulled back. Perhaps getting a little dangerous. You're driving around on side streets. We have the driver's door open and now out of the vehicle, putting a hood on. You can see the overhead helicopter is tracking. So this person appears as if they are giving up. They are making no attempt to run. They are in the spotlight of the airship and just standing in the middle of an intersection here. You see that one driver backing up. They kind of know what's up here. You do not want to be around this situation once the ground units, and even on the ground before any officers pull up. So here we go. This looks like it is coming to an end. At least one of the four people who are inside of that stolen Cadillac will be taken into custody. Officers there with guns drawn, giving commands, and you can see a passenger in that car that just happened to get stuck in this now getting out. You look out your window, you're just stopped at an intersection, and you see a windshield full of officers with their guns drawn pointing in your direction. Can be a really scary thing. But now that this driver has gotten down on the ground, appears to be giving up peacefully, and now letting that driver exit the scene. This clears things up for officers a little bit. gives this guy nowhere to run, gives them any place to hide at this point. The fact that he's wearing a hooded sweatshirt with a hood on makes things a little bit more difficult. It's a lot of baggy clothing that he could potentially be hiding any kind of weapon. But it appears as if this is going to become a peaceful end to this pursuit. 39th and Broadway, we're being told right now. So 39th and Broadway is where this is appearing to come to an end, at least this portion of this incident. Again, we have seen three people exit that stolen Cadillac and run off. The driver, no such luck. I don't know if they just decided there was no use in trying to run or didn't want to get into it, but they are now face down in the middle of the intersection at 39th and Broadway, surrounded on one side in a crescent formation. Officers ready to take this guy in pursuit. They are into custody. They are clearing the vehicle at the bottom right of your screen. That was the vehicle he was driving, parked at the bottom right. And here come the four officers in formation. Lead officer has their gun drawn. Looks like another officer is holstering his weapon as they prepare to take this driver into custody. So going back to try and find the other three occupants of that car who fled on foot might be a difficult task. We know the airship is over the driver and was over the vehicle. We don't know how many ground units broke off from the pursuit to follow those who got out on foot. Again, on the right side of your screen, we're going to see just about what happened between 5 and 10 minutes ago. Two passengers exited that vehicle. The driver took off, lights off. And you can see the airship was over these two guys and then broke off to re-engage the pursuit. And so that driver is now in custody up against a police car. And this thing appears to be code 4 for all clear. I don't know if we can get any word on whether there is still a search for those other three occupants, at least three occupants. There is a chance that someone could have gotten out of the vehicle before we were even overhead. But at least three people exited the vehicle, fled on foot. There is a search now, no doubt, underway with LAPD trying to find those three. But again, driver now in custody, 39th and Broadway. We'll have more on this coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 11. Thank you so much for joining us. We will return you back to our regularly scheduled streaming programming on abc7.com and our ABC7 Los Angeles app.